I made these textured papers on the last videos. What I've decided to do is to use these stencils on top, and I'm really wondering what's going to happen. So if you're wondering too, why not carry on watching and all will be revealed. So here are the stencils I used. I'll leave the link to how I put all these papers together, but these are the stencils that I used, and they're quite sort of curvy and freeformish. I don't have a lot of stencils that are more or less organic than these, more sort of graphic and straight lines. I don't know about you, but I bought lots of stencils and masks before I really got into Gelli Plate printing, and I've got masses of stencils that I probably will never use because they're not really what I'm looking for. But anyway, that said, let's get on with what I'm going to do. These are the colours that I used last time. You'll see those colours in the previous videos. All Amsterdam. This one is Azo Yellow, this one's Turquoise Blue, and this one Yellowish Green. And now I am going to fall back on my wonderful Paynes Grey, and this is ARTSTUDIO. I bought this at a company called The Range in the UK, but I think you could buy the same kind of thing wherever you are. This is just a Paynes Grey. So let's start with this one that hasn't got much in the way of a pattern on it, and we'll try this one here. Pushing through. Ooh, that's that's what you call bold, isn't it? Put you down there, and I'll do the ghost print now, using the Baron because I have problems with finger flexibility. So we started off with two quite plain colours, and now I've got something really vibrant. Happy with that. Let's go with this one here. This is a bit of a mishmash of colours, so it definitely needs to be rescued. Thin coat, Paynes Grey. And I think we'll go for the same one. This paper is just laser paper, some Hewlett Packard laser print paper. I quite like that as well. Now for the ghost print. Definitely is a ghost print, very sort of subtle. I might want to go over that again. Let me just get rid of that there. otherwise it's going to show up on everything else that I do. Just do a very, very, very thin layer. Spare piece of paper. Okay, so that's got rid of that, and that's quite nice as well. Put you over there. Right, put some more. Payne's grey down. Try to smooth it out. I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to put it all over my hand as well. Never mind. I'm going to put it back onto this because I really don't like it. See if I can rescue it. Oh, and the answer is probably yes. So, yeah, happy with that. And I'll take this off and let's put it on. Let's go for this one here. So this is the ghost print of the diamond patterns. Is it a harlequin, would we call it? Harlequin pattern? Ooh. It's quite 3D, that one. How interesting. Looks like you're peeping through. Okay, let's go again. I'm getting giddy now. Let's go with this one again. Really get into those cutout spaces within the stencil, making sure that pressing as hard as you can. That's very bold as well, isn't it? I think I'm going to let this dry and then just put a colour on top of it and then pull. So I'll come back to you in a few minutes. This seems to be dry now, so I'm going to put a turquoise over the top to pull it. I've missed this bit out here. Let's just try and get rid of that. Okay. Again, we've got some residue of the black and turquoise. These are never wasted papers. when you don't get everything off, when you pull the print. If you always keep a spare piece of paper to one side, these are some that I did with an experiment the other day, which is just hanging around waiting for me to do something with. So I can just get rid of that paint on a spare piece of paper. Okay, so that's fine. Still some there. Just trying to get rid of it. Better. Let's carry on. Doesn't matter that there's some green still on. Still green on the brayer as well, so let's go for this one again. I really like this pattern. Pushing through, trying not to miss areas out, which I keep on doing seemingly. Keep on forgetting to turn that over. I don't know about you, but I never always remember to do it. Oh, like that a lot. So there's quite a lot of bits and pieces left in there. You could get tissue and try and get rid of it. Wet wipe would be better, but the more that I am trying to get rid of it, the more the paint is drying underneath. This could be a totally wasted effort, but never mind. And I'll put it on this one because it's my least favourite. Really press down. Okay, that's better than I thought. I'm going to do one more. And there we have it. All the different examples you can get when you cover over your different patterns with Payne's Grey. So I've finished today's session, and these are some of the textured papers that I've made. and I'm really happy with them. I tend to like nice bold patterns and colours. This is the roll-off sheet, and I think there's some sort of interesting areas on this as well, so I'm going to keep that. What I'm going to do with these patterns is to put them into my art book, and as you can see, I'm sort of more than 2/3 of the way through the book, and I'm filling it with different squares of textured paper, 3-inch squares, and this is the one that I did last, which is just 2 layers, a base layer and then the stencil on top, or the ghost print in this case here. So I've squared out my next page. I made myself a template just with a piece of card, very easy to do, and then once you've done that you can just put it down and draw around it. And I've cut these out of what I've done today, and I can place them wherever I want to. So this would be a nice page of greens, different shades, and it will add to my collection of 3-inch squares. So this is how I made these textured papers, and this is what I propose to do with them. So I hope you enjoyed that, and that you come back next time, and I'll show you some more Gelli Plate textures and hopefully ideas of what to do with them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.